There's something you don't see every day. I was thinking about doing a video about mistakes. Oops.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad.
It's just a little attempt at humor. Don't get mad, everybody makes mistakes, but I was talking more about my mistakes, especially a big one I made on this trip right here I'm on. So welcome to a new video. Clackamas, Oregon, picking up a load of produce as we're about 150 miles south of Fife. I screwed up pretty bad. I was just running, you know, and the way, before I get into this, I'll tell you, usually I'm out 2 to 3 days, usually a maximum of 4, and then I come home. I mean, it's just the way we've done it for a year. But I've been out and been running. There's some things that we need to spend some money on, so trying to make some money before we have to spend it. And I wasn't paying attention when I took that load from Boise to Fife, the last one, and I mean, God must have had a hand in that or something, because I wasn't even paying attention. By the time I figured it out, I had 10 hours to do a trip that usually takes me 12. And then I was going to pumpkin out with my duty time. So usually I stopped twice. I ran it straight through. We got in with 5 minutes to spare, and then I had to take a 36-hour reset in Fife. So it was a good catch when I caught it. It was, you know, it's ridiculously stupid to do something like that, because I should have just reset at home. You know, the Fife load didn't pay that good. But either way, we're here, we're running, we're still profitable. I just had to spend 36 hours away from my family. So we're loading this morning in Clackamas. Like I said, it's a load of produce going to the Winco and Boise, and I don't usually try to avoid these, but you know, with that clean clock, I was thinking about just taking off again, but then I forgot that I had promised my kids that we were going to Monster Jam this weekend, so that's why we're going back. So, and this load isn't that great. It's heavier than I like to pull for less money than I like to make. That's probably the story with everybody, though. So, but it's like I don't know, $3 or something like that. So it's not horrible, but it gets me home and keeps the truck profitable, and we'll go from there. Okay, that's a load of fresh produce. It says it's about 30,000 pounds, but based on my air gauge and the way the truck's responding, I'm gonna guess it's a little more than that. But we're gonna go to gonna run up here to the truck stop, get a weight, ticket, just to be sure, and then we'll get out of here. Cessna on a downwind for Troutdale. We're at the Loves, just got our scale ticket. Looks good to me. Go home. I painted it. It's kind of nasty, funky. You know, you still see the Winco stuff. Yeah, and I'm not saying that it looks great now, but at least people can't just tell that it says Winco on the side or it's an old Winco trailer. But we're here back at the Horse in Pendleton. We're going to get some food and refresh here for a minute, and then we'll push it in. Its GPS is still saying we're going to be there by 8 o'clock tonight, and that is more than plenty. That's after my kids go to bed and way before our appointment, so there's no sense being in a big hurry. Just let the truck climb up Cabbage as slow as she wants to and get home safe and sound is the goal now. Alright, so we closed Cabbage a couple days ago because it snowed and everybody started wrecking. And then everything melted off yesterday, and everybody ran over the hill going the speed limit because they thought they were on bare pavement, and they ended up wrecking a bunch of trucks and cars. And there was a fatality up here from a truck running into a car that was on parked, or I don't know the details. But anyway, that happened because the roads were wet and then it froze. So we hit this pretty good. It's late in the day, but the sun's had all the time it needs to get everything as warm as possible, and I want to slide right over. Hopefully easy as you please. A bunch more out. Nice day, they're out getting some sun on their back. I know that some dudes, like, this is a Detroit, some people talk about running up hills at 2,600 RPM, but, you know, and they can if they want. And I get that we're not making max power until like 2,600, but sucker sounds like it's going to explode up in that range, and I just choose not to run my truck like that. I'm not saying that those guys are running theirs wrong. All I'm saying is that it's my truck and I'll run it the way I think is best. And we haven't been blowing stuff up, we haven't been burning oil, we haven't been doing anything, so why change what I'm doing? So anyway, that's a thought from nearly the top of Cabbage. It's good to see some more snow up here. We needed it. Well, welcome to Boise.
Keep left onto South Meridian Road.
I know I said that
Reduced ahead.
I missed kids' bedtime and dinner time and all that stuff, and it's true. You're gonna swing into the house anyway, because I bet my boy is still laying in bed jacking around driving his mom nuts. So I really usually try to avoid driving my truck down into a residential cul-de-sac with, you know, whatever, we're the hillbillies. But and I think we're getting ready to sell that place anyway. I'm just kind of over caring about our neighbors to some extent. We've never had neighbors before. We've always lived on acreage until we moved here, and Like, don't get me wrong, living in a subdivision, it's actually kind of been great. We have good neighbors. We have, you know, there's good kids around. Everybody's been real nice. I like to shoot guns off my front porch, pee off my back porch, and not have to worry about anybody seeing me. You know? So anyway, we're on the hunt, hopefully, but we gotta still give it some time because, you know, the business is just now a year old. So, when you go in to talk to a bank about a loan, you know, especially when you're self-employed, they want some history on you to make sure that you're not an idiot and you're going to pay them their money back.
Turn left onto South Meridian Road.
Actually, jokingly, I told my realtor, I was like, well, let me know when my house gets to 550.
Turn at the first left
And
onto
we'll look at
South
selling
Meridian
it.
Road.
And she texted me today and said, your house is worth 550. So I'd sure like it to be 580 though. Then we can just make 200 grand and just, you know, net profit 200 grand and wash our hands and walk away. Trying to find 50 to 100 acres, but you can't do that around Boise without several $1 million. So that changes the dynamics completely. So we'll see what happens. Okay, pulling in here. See if we can make all the neighbors angry. But it'll be fun. Hopefully I get to see somebody. You know, I'll obviously get to see my wife, which is a plus, but I miss those babies too. Well, that was worth it. We got to see my two oldest kids and my wife for a little bit. And I guess I was gone long enough because they were happy to see me. So, show up too soon, they're not happy to see you. You know, you should have stayed out longer. Anyway, we're still early, but we're gonna. Winco won't even let you on the property, I think, until an hour prior. So, I need to get this reefer out of my neighborhood. And the way it was shutting down on me, I kind of scared to leave it anywhere. So I think we're just gonna go up here. There's a truck stop by the shipper and or by the receiver, excuse me, and maybe take a nap. And get this load off of here. Alright, so here's Memory Lane, Eisenman,
Speed warning.
on the west side of Boise. Like the extreme west side, west of Peterbilt dealership and all that. That's where Winco is. Got this brand new Sinclair truck stop that I've been meaning to stop at, and I just haven't ever had a reason to. Because to be honest, I avoid Winco. And really, that might not be all the way fair to Winco. They were just involved in a bad situation, and it wasn't their fault. It was the broker's fault. I got tied up here for 2 days waiting to get offloaded. Like, it's a good thing I live here. And anyway, I ended up not getting paid. And I had like 6 hours of detention, and I didn't get paid for that either. So it is, you know, I try to run for brokers in places where I don't even have to charge them detention. You know, sometimes you might wait 3 or 4 hours, and I could charge them detention, but if the load pays good enough, you know, why bother? It's kind of been my thinking on the subject. guys, so we're just waiting at the truck stop to get unloaded, and I've been going through paperwork, billing paperwork, and I've mentioned before I have a spreadsheet that allows me to pay the truck per mile, and to be accurate on everything. Well, we're a year into our authority, so now I have some good data to plug back into my spreadsheet. And I've known for a while now that my spreadsheet wasn't right, but I'll show you what I did. Anyway, just what I did here is I built the spreadsheet before we ever ran a load, before we had our authority or anything. So all I have up here is like how many miles a year we're gonna run, or would need to run. And then over here, got the truck trailer. I got a line of credit here. I still have this. It's a credit card that's in my wallet that I've never activated, but it's 25 grand. That's just for a big O shit. Truck out of frame that, some of these prices may not be just right, and that's okay. But the point is you'll have 35,000 in 150,000 miles. So that means that you're going to pay the truck 23 cents a mile. 50,000 for a trailer replacement and 300,000 miles. So it doesn't matter if you can't find a trailer for 50,000 or you can't find an engine for 35,000. The point that we're doing here is we're dumping money back into the account for equipment replacement. So what if you run the trailer for 500,000 miles or 600,000 miles? Then I'm going to have more than $50,000. I'll have $100,000 if I can run the trailer 600,000 miles. Same with the out of frame. It's just kind of a baseline to get started. So my insurance cost me $12,874 this year. This I actually had in here low, so I wasn't divvying enough money away because insurance kind of hurt me this year. This green column that's where we ran last year. It was about 50,000 miles. And remember that we skipped the whole first quarter. So then I've got some other stuff that's kind of not really a big deal once you're up and running. Authority and heavy highway use tax. Fuel. This is what's really important, is we're getting 6 miles to the gallon. I just updated the fuel price. That's 85 cents a mile, and this truck is going to go right to fuel. And what I did right here, this is our total running cost. That's just less 85 cents. So you click on it, it's G20, which is this one, minus G12 equals, and then whatever you put in, over here, spits it out here and will automatically adjust your numbers. It's good to know how to run these Excel spreadsheets. They're awesome. But I got oil changes, I've got tires. This is probably high on tires, but I spent a pile of money last year on tires. So that should come down. I've got just 4 more I'd like to replace. Regular maintenance. So I had this at 7 cents because I bought some product, and that's what the guy said. It's about 7 cents. Turns out, when I do the math for the year, based on the miles we ran, it's 50,000 miles, we spent $22,000 on maintenance. So I just did the math, to get $24,000 in the bank for regular maintenance. Based on those numbers, we need to run 51 cents a mile. So, and that's where a lot of money has disappeared down the maintenance hole, as I'm sure everyone can sympathize with. But I wanted to more accurately predict what we're doing here. And now, keep in mind, so we got our authority in April last year, so we're just coming up on a year. So basically didn't run at all the first quarter. So we're definitely going to be in the 75, maybe even higher. But you can see the more you run, the more your costs come down. You know, if you only run 50 a year, you're at 244. If you run 100 a year, you're at 232. You know, it steadily falls off the more miles you run. You know, some stuff doesn't change. Fuel's just going to be whatever fuel is. You know, because you can only get so much miles per gallon. But insurance, for example, if you say you run 25,000 miles, 51 cents a mile goes to insurance. You know, and then it basically splits in half and half and half and keeps going down to where insurance is pretty reasonable. And I'm sure some internet warriors can get on here and can pick this apart and say that this is wrong and that's wrong. And the bottom line is they might be right, they might be wrong. It doesn't really matter. The point is you want some cushion. That's what kind of these are, you know, and you want to be accounting for your maintenance. Then when you get some data, come back and revisit your sheet. You have to know this number. I've seen loads for me that pay less than that number. So I would have been losing money to take that load. So this is just crucially important that, you know, and now I can look at this and say, well, you know, do I want to make what a company driver makes? So let's say a company driver makes 50 cents a mile. So that means I need to be running about $3. Well, is it worth it to me to have all this risk and have everything laid on the line for wages that a company driver makes? To me, that's absolutely not. So my bottom line might be like $3.44 right now. So at least I can pay myself $1 a mile. You know, that's just your personal preference, but you have to know what that is. Or you're just shooting in the dark and hoping everything works out right, and you're hanging onto the steering wheel and you're not driving your business. So know your worth, like those other guys say. And that is bottom of the barrel, bottom of the line. That's the golden number right there. It can't get any worse than that. You know, and even at that, I'm working for free because I don't have any wages in here. So, anyway, there you go. The other thing I've mentioned it before is, you know, the business is one thing. You got to take care of your family, and so I was just like, you know, I'm pretty simple. So I said, well, how much is the house payment? How much do we spend on food? How much is insurance for the cars? How much is the kids' sporting stuff? And the kids were going to private school and all that crap. And I added it to what our average for the month was with the trucking company. And what we found out is we need about $10,000 a month to live. So like that $10,000 just keeps the lights on. You're not gaining, you're not losing. But, well, you kind of are losing, but you're just getting by at $10,000. So you have to make $10,000 a month. And with a truck, that's easy. You know, you can do that, especially if I was willing to just drive to Florida. You know, I could do that in one trip. But that's not my thing. You know, it might be in the future, but it's just not now. I like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I'm interested in learning and getting better because I feel like we've got a good solid start here, and we're learning. So and the truck isn't all the way shook out. The trailer's not all the way shook out. There's just a lot of added risk going all the way to Florida. You know, going on those super long ones that maybe we're just not ready for yet. Okay, well, we're off to a good start at Winco. They were aware that we had an appointment and we're coming, so That's leaps and bounds better than it's been before. So we got our doors, 216. Go down here and then we'll go in and see what the ransom is to get them to offload us. And hopefully these guys are feeling froggy tonight and can get us in and out. But kind of planning on being here, you know, till probably 7 or 8 in the morning. Hopefully they'll make a liar out of me, you know. Like I said, I know that part of my dislike for this place is not really their fault. I haven't unloaded enough here to really get too sour on them. So it'll be whatever it's gonna be. Let's go find door 216. Now we're gonna try this. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but let's see if we can get a mirror view with me holding my phone and backing up all at the same time without making a complete fool of myself. Well, it hasn't started the greatest. I think we can still patch her up though. We're not too far off, but in the interest of safety and up, they didn't have a real good sight picture out that mirror. And now that I do, I was being a little too conservative. So we'll whoop her on over. Slide her on back. Guess I'm kind of right on that line. Go ahead and square her up one more time. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, right on her now. Gonna go ahead and set my trailer brakes. I pulled my handle when I was out there. So we're sliding our tandems is what we're doing. They're all the way back. I always wait, you know, I found a couple doors where it's better to slide your tandems first. But just as a general rule of thumb, it's way better to get your trailer stuck back in the hole before you slide your tandems. Make life a little easier for you. And here we go. There she is. Made it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out another one. We're at the door. It's a little before 3 in the morning. You know, like I said before, this load isn't very good. It's just a shade under $3. This is the way it worked out. But it got me home when I needed to be home because we got to do monster jams in town. So the kid's been asking to go to that for the last couple of years, and we didn't go last year. So yeah, we're gonna call it there, and just know before anybody hits the panic button and starts telling, lighting us up in the comments about what dumbasses we are or whatever. We're new. I'm still learning. I did a 3-day CDL course, bought a truck with cash, bought the trailer with cash, paid my first year of insurance with cash, and we're figuring it out. So we make lots of mistakes, and in my background with aviation, I was an airline pilot and a bush pilot in Alaska and a bunch of stuff, and our culture is that it's okay to make mistakes. I wasn't so lucky as to be born with a CDL in the hip pocket of my Wranglers and a million accident-free miles, like a lot of guys are. I say sarcastically. So we're just, like I said, we're learning, and that's the importance of knowing those numbers. Is you can be a total dumbass if you know your numbers, know your rate, keep all 18 tires on the ground. You can make a living. So, at least we are so far. We're a year in, so we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.